Hello everyone, welcome to video number 1 of game overviews. I will be doing Arkham Horror 3rd edition today. This is published by Fantasy Flight Games and it was designed by Nikki Valence. If you're not familiar with the theme, Arkham Horror has been around for a while. There's a living card game. Obviously there's 1st and 2nd editions. There's also other iterations of this type of game like Eldritch Horror. There's Mansions of Madness. And 3rd edition came out not very long ago. It's not typical of the Arkham Horror games as far as what the game board looks like. So let's take a look at the game box. Fantasy Flight Games did a pretty good job with this. It's a nice game box. The quality is pretty on the par with the type of games that they make. It's not bad. The artwork is pretty nice on it, and you can see that it goes all the way around the box. It is a 1 to 6 player game. It is rated for, I believe it's 14 plus, but let's take a look inside. Okay, as you can see, I'm able to store the box vertically if I wanted to. I just pretty much put these tiles down flat against this bottom edge. And when I put the game box back on, it will stay pretty much there. There isn't much to it. You saw me move the box earlier. I was moving it vertically. Everything was inside the box. Now these are the map tiles. As you can see, they're not typical. They're not square. It isn't what I've regularly seen in game boards. There's quite a bit of them, and they're also double-sided. Here's your rule book. There's a learn to play. There's rule reference. They're not very extensive. They're pretty good at teaching you how to play. You get component overviews. You get a pretty easy setup. It actually tells you which scenario to prepare for, which is the very first, the easiest scenario that I'm assuming is. So they'll go through everything. They'll go through the monster setup, the concepts of the game, what damage does, all the actions you can do, all the encounters. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't have trouble playing it the first time. It was a lot of rules references, but once you get the flow of the game and you kind of figure out what you got to do, where you're going, what are the actions you can take, it goes pretty smoothly after that. My wife and I played it. We really liked it. It's pretty nice. Obviously the quality of the components is good. Let's take a look inside the box now. You got tokens, standard cardboard tokens. I have my own Ziploc bags that I put them in. It's nice to have. It makes it really easy to store. Now these right here, I'll give you a closer look. I got these offline. I don't remember exactly where. I think I got them off of Etsy. But if you take a look, this is a stand for the anomalies. These tokens are here, and they're supposed to go in the middle. I'll give you an example. So they're supposed to go in the middle of the game board. They'll sit there so that you know exactly where it has to go. And it makes it easy to see on the board. And I think they're pretty nice. They're not bad. They were really nice quality. These are my own that I bought. They won't come standard in the game. The components are nice. By the way, again, nice cardboard. Dice, regular dice, nothing special. Lots of card. The card stock's pretty good. Pretty standard for Fantasy Flight games. They're durable. They're not gonna bend a whole lot. And I'm just using hair ties to keep them together. This is neat right here. This is the draw pile. You get to build it when you get it in the game. I glued it together and it fits in the game box just like that. I don't have to rebuild it every time. I just used wood glue right here. I used wood glue on the edges on the inside. You can't really tell, but I did. It worked out good. I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't move. And for what I do, it's completely nice. Another thing that I got off of Etsy were these character holders. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Fantasy Flight games, but whenever you buy a game and you have to put any of these character tokens on their stands, a lot of them get ruined right at the bottom, right here. I didn't want that to happen, so I actually picked these up off the internet. Again, I think it was Etsy, but I'm not sure. You can go ahead and look them up. If I can find them, I'll throw them in the description below. That way you guys can take a look at them, and I'll also throw those anomaly token holders in. But I think they're nice. It's either that or you're using these plastic holders. And like I said, here's a regular holder. It'll just slide in like this. And as you can see, they're pretty tight. I think the first time I played it, I saw it, it was pinching it, it was leaving marks on it. I didn't like that. I want this game to last me a long time. I'm not looking to buy more of the stuff just because I damaged some of it. So there it is. That's what I did just to mitigate that. And it's a nice little detail that it adds to the theme of the board game. Now, as you can see, I used a lot of Ziploc bags. These are all my own bags. This is one of the first games that I started with besides Zombicide. And it's worked out really well. Now, you also need a Doom cup. And I'm not using a cup, I'm actually using a bag. This is the bag. You put the Doom tokens in here, you draw them out. If you can tell by the color, some of you might recognize where I got this from. You can use that. I cut it in half and I got a little string and stitched that in there. So now I have a Doom box. It's not a big deal. It's all good. And now, if you guys are wondering how I managed to get everything in here so that you can put it on there vertically, it's simple. Don't throw away your game insert. Cut it, make a centerpiece. I got it off the Board Game Geek website. There's somebody on there that already has everything you need to do to make it look like this. All I did was grab everything, put it in Ziploc bags, and in order to keep everything from flying all over the place, I use the rule books to put under, and then again, all I do is put those down, put the game box on, voila. Now, I can stand it upright, I can turn it over, and it stayed. So there's that. I've reboxed it. It's a good game. The quality of the gameplay is nice. I played it with 2 investigators solo. We played it with 4 investigators with 2 players. It was my wife and I. We had a lot of fun. We did lose the first 2 times we played the beginning scenario. We were trying to strategize. We were trying to figure out exactly what to do. Once we figured out what all the board game parts do and what all the symbols mean, we picked up the pace. We actually got around the game board. It was fun. I can't tell you how much my wife liked it. She wanted to play it over again. I liked it very much. I enjoyed playing it. We were able to play it a couple times, so that was nice. And the length of the gameplay was about 60 minutes to an hour and a half, so 60 to 90 minutes. It's not too bad. It isn't great. It's not super long, but it's not really short either. I haven't seen any Board Game Geek variants online myself. There might be, but there's really no reason to. All the rules are pretty streamlined. The game plays well all on its own, so I wouldn't have any reason to give it any variants. And you're probably wondering if this will play well with the kids. And my opinion is yes, but not with all of them. You're probably going to want to make sure that the children are okay with the horror genre. There's a lot of reading, and the game is pretty punishing. So if they're not used to losing, they're not used to not being able to do things, or all of a sudden it starts becoming really hard to get around the map or actually do anything, and then you get crushed, it's probably not a game for them. As far as theme goes, if you don't shy away from it, it's fine. Halloween does it all the time. So this is a good game to play during October. It's fun. I myself personally haven't played it with the kids, but I will. It just hasn't been a game that I've gotten around to playing with them. We've been playing other games, and I'm just trying to get them to advance their strategic skills and get a little bit more into the board game scene before we get into this. So my recommended age for this is going to be 8+. Personally, I probably won't let my oldest daughter play it. She's only 7, but my nieces who are 10 and 11, they can probably play this game really well. They like it. I've heard them talk about, you know, scary movies and all that, and this is right up their alley. So that's it. This concludes my overview for Arkham Horror. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get on board.